President Trump signed an executive order over the weekend aimed at easing research restrictions on psychedelics. Now, this move reflects the Trump administration's interest in recasting the federal government's relationship with various substances being pushed by drug reform advocates. Further illustrating this, back in December, President Trump signed an EO to expedite and complete the process of reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug. This means that today could likely be the last 420 in which the federal government does not officially recognize this drug's medicinal value. Josh Kesselman joins us now. He is the publisher of High Times magazine and the so-called founding force behind raw rolling papers. I'm told these are things you need in order to enjoy the substance. Josh, welcome to you. Yes. And good morning. What do you make of this? The president saying reclassifying. The president said reclassifying is a false flag. Explain to us why that may be.
Well, it isn't. It is not a false flag. It's just the government admitting that there is legitimate medical benefit to cannabis and now also various psychedelics. The research has already proven this. It's just the government finally catching up with reality. That's all it really is.
So if this reclassification does happen, what do you think 420 would look like for the cannabis industry a year from now?
Sure. Well, right now we have like over 400,000 people that work in the cannabis industry in America and over $25 billion a year in tax revenue, and that will only increase. It's important to note that like right now when we all smoke up on 420, because 420 is a day of celebration for many of us, we are all smoking up in a way that is often federally illegal. And now next year, the hope is that it will not be the case. So maybe this will be the last year when we all have to partake in a way that is not completely legal.
When you say
it's very important. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just curious. When you say in a way that is not legal, you're saying if you're living in states where it's not legal? Is that what you mean by that?
Well, no, because even if it's like right now I'm in Arizona and state-wise, it's completely legal here, both recreational and medical. Mm-hmm. But federally, it's completely illegal. Right. It's as if it's in the same classification as heroin. But by next year, as long as the order goes through, it will be Schedule 3, which would be the same as something like testosterone, where there is a proven medical benefit, and it's not per se illegal, which is important. Because it's a great plant, as we all know.
Well, this was just the one.
Majority of Americans consume it one way or another.
This is the one detail I was going to share, is that for Schedule 1, it's the same category as heroin and LSD, but this movement to Schedule 3, what is the value of that? And, you know, one thing I hear people say is that it can dampen how you think, slow your reaction time. And for young people to, you know, smoke marijuana or take these gummies, that can have a long-term effect on their development. I always say, well, alcohol is available to people 21 and over, and that doesn't help anybody. But what do you think is the benefit of moving this to Schedule 3, and what would be some of the remaining risks?
Well, the first benefit, just based on what you just mentioned, is we can prove things right or wrong. So far, the medical establishments have shown that most of those things that you just said are not correct. There are short-term effects that will slow your judgment and slow your reaction times. But once it wears off, which is, if you're smoking it only about an hour, that effect is gone. And we haven't been able to prove that in America. Other countries can, but we have not been able to because research is banned when it's Schedule 1. Now that it hopefully will be moved to Schedule 3, that changes things where we can do the research to prove how safe or unsafe, but we know it's safe, the drug actually is. Other countries are far ahead of us. Germany, for example, is putting out medical products, drugs, based on cannabis to help with MS and other conditions. In America, we're not even allowed to research it, let alone put out a drug, which puts us behind in so many different ways. And it hurts the American obviously the American citizen, because so many of us have ailments that would be helped by this plant. And now with Schedule 3, we'll be able to prove that and make these products that are very necessary for many of us.
I wonder what the impact will also be on the criminal justice system if people who are in prison because of drug-related charges, if there might be, you know, their cases might be looked at.
Yeah. Let the science lead the way. Josh Kesselman, you brought some joy and smiles and laughs to our conversation today. We appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And remember, it is just a plant. It's just a plant.
Okay,
leave you with that. Thank you.